All right, we back right here on another episode of Cloth Talk Podcast. This is your first time checking out the pod. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Dope guests in the building tonight. This is probably one of the most persistent guests I probably had on here. But before I introduce him and bring him on, man, of course, got to shout out some people who support the pod. Of course, y'all know from the East Coast originally. Shout out to my man Joe with Joe Chef Life Catering out there in my hometown, Philly. If you need a personal chef, if you need an event catered, if you're just passing through Philly or one of those tri-state areas, that's Philly, Jersey, and Delaware, make sure you hit up my man Joe with Joe Chef Life Catering. Get you right. Right here locally in Columbus, Ohio, if you're trying to get right fit-wise, make sure you hit up Whitehall Nutrition Lounge. That's right off of Broad and Yearling. Get you some shakes, some teas, get that nutrition in your body, get you right. Last but not leastly, out in Dayton, Ohio. Shout out to my man Deontay Tatum with the flyeragency.com. If you are in need of any graphic design, any logo creation, mixtape covers design, album artwork, website design, whatever you need visually to represent your brand and or business, hit up Deontay Tatum with the flyeragency.com. All right, man. Let me give this man a proper introduction. this guy, this summer seems like he been having the foot on the pedal, gas down nonstop. Fuck these stop signs. Fuck that. I'm just going full guns blazing, man. Artist, man, fashion designer, comic book writer. I mean, he does it all. I'm excited to talk to this brother, man. You seen him on the stage opening up for Ghostface Killer. Woo! One of Woo's legends. We're going to talk about that. You heard him with AU, of course. It is none other than Gray. Mackenzi's on the show, everybody.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So much to talk to you about, man. Like, you sent me your, like, and by the way, like, you probably are one of the most professional artists. Like, you got your whole shit laid out, written. Like,
yeah.
Okay, before we get into all this music, this fashion stuff, the comic series, and your whole story, let's start from the beginning. Because your first time on the pod, most people probably going to be getting introduced to you for the first time and actually see the man behind all this creation. Mm-hmm. Like, who the hell is Gray Mackenzi? Like, we hear the music, we see the creations. What's the story? So let's take it from the beginning. Born right here and raised in Columbus, Ohio, or
actually
you're a transplant?
Yeah, man.
Where you
I'm a transplant. I was born in Virginia. I was born in Alexandria.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you been here?
Oh, most of my life. So basically what happened was...
Break it down for us.
Alright. I was born in Alexandria.
Yes.
Was there for a little bit. My mother passed when I was 2. Mm-hmm. Me and my twin brother, we were back and forth between Virginia and Ohio for a few. And then by the time I started school, I was here in Ohio and I've been here since. So
got you. So you pretty much say I'm from Columbus. Because 2 years old, you pretty much say, yeah, I'm from
I tell you all the time, I'm from Columbus.
Yeah. So you had family out here.
Oh yeah.
So, but your mom was in Virginia.
Most of our families was out there.
So who's here? Your pop side of the family?
Actually, it's my mom, her sister. So her family were here. I was pretty much it. They were the ones that actually, when my mom started getting sick, she was like, "Look, if something happens to me, I want y'all to take care of him."
Yeah,
and that's what they ended up doing.
Okay. Do you ever go back to Virginia at all?
Oh man, I ain't been out there for years, but that's because most of them moved out. They hadn't found other places to be. The ones that were there when I was young, they either passed away or they, gone on and left and took their families with them. I mean, Wheeling and Weirton, those places. Like, I used to go out to West Virginia, back and forth, Newport News, all those places. And, most of the family out there, they're just... If they're there, it's 1 or 2 out there sparingly. It's not as many as clustered up as they used to be, basically.
Got you. Okay. So, I'm curious to know about, like, your upbringing, like, because, like I said, you do a lot of shit. Like,
oh, yeah.
You do a lot, and it seems like you immerse yourself in these things that you do. Like, you dedicate a lot of time to it.
Yeah, my wife gets mad at me about it.
There you go again.
Oh, yo, she's like, listen, man, that's your only other woman is her, apparently.
All these creations.
Yeah.
She's like, you get them more time than me.
Yeah, she sometimes gets on me about it. But
so how did you get involved? What was first? Was it music? What is the artistry? Was it fashion? Was it writing?
It was funny.
What was first?
What started with everything was music. My house, they had like hella instruments in there. Keyboard, organs used to be in there.
So your family is...
Oh, it was in the church. Apostolic upbringing, Okay, and every my dad was the my dad was a deacon. My mom, she was just always in charge of some larger group involved in the church.
Got
you know what I mean? And my brothers and sisters, all of those were their children, and they were drummer, head of the choir, trumpet player. They were all basically involved in some part of the musical or some part of the church or some form or fashion. So I got involved through that. And then on top of that, I was always being told stuff like, your mother loved Michael Jackson and stuff like that. So, me always trying to be closer to my mom's. I listened to Michael and I tried to listen to his influences, Stevie and all that stuff like that. So all of that was really just me trying to get close to my mom. Ended up being something that I loved, was music.
Wow. So for you coming up, a lot of you getting involved in these things and discovering a lot of these things was a way to have a relationship with your mother who passed when you was 2. So for you were like, okay, mom was involved in these things. Well, this is the only thing I got that I can connect with her since he's physically not here. Yeah. So let me involve myself in these things. How, if you don't mind me asking, how did your mom's pass? You were so young. What happened?
Her liver failed. We honestly don't know exactly why it failed, but what happened was nobody really went too far to figuring that out. But they most definitely know that it failed. They had to remove it. She had a heart attack during the process of replacing it because her body rejected the original. They got a replacement. She would have been fine if everything would have happened the way it was supposed to. But
so her body rejected the replacement, and that's what happened. Oh man, our condolences, man. I know you were so young. Did you understand what was happening at that time?
Not really.
Until you got older. Like, how did your family explain to you? Because you don't have answers at age 2. So I'm pretty sure you're growing up like wondering like, where's mom? Like,
yeah, I remember that my family used to tell me that we used to go past graveyards and I used to point at them and say that's where my mom was, like over and over again.
Wow.
So it was morbid for a little bit, I guess, but after a while it more so became a realization that there was a difference between me and my twin brother and like everybody else in the house. Even though they didn't try to show that there was a difference, you could feel it, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I was always a Salter and they were always a Smith, you know what I mean? So, and that was another reason why I ended up, going into books and music and all these other things, games and stuff like that, because I really didn't have much of a connection with my brothers and sisters. Most of them were like 10 years older than me.
Oh,
So they're so much older than me that they're like, when I used to go out with them, one of my older sisters used to ask if that was my mother. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
wow.
You know what I mean? So that was the difference, the far difference.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just lean on any of them for advice because they got
doing their own thing.
Yeah, by the time I was needing their advice, they had families. So,
like what do you want, kid? Beat it.
You know what I mean? So when it came down to it, I had really just my twin, and the difference between having an older or younger brother and having a twin brother is that you get the same information within weeks of each other. You know what I mean? So he'd learn something, I'd figure it out because he told me about it. Yeah. I'd learn something, he'd figure it out because I told him. But that was it. We were never it was never getting advice from someone
in the family.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. Dang. So you were the youngest out of all the kids?
Yeah, well, I was actually the older between I was an older twin, but that was it.
Wow. That's crazy. Because I'm just trying to like imagine growing up in that type of environment where, lose my mother, all my siblings, they're living their adult lives because I'm so young. So it's just kind of me and my twin brother, and we're just kind of playing racquetball. Like, what'd you find out? I found out this. I got that. Did you ever have a point where you just like, I don't know, was just like, you know what, like, just F it, like, fuck it.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I had a whole set of
this,
years. I had fuck it years. Those were years of it.
It sounds like that could be so frustrating.
Well, the thing about it was, the only comfort I really had, sadly, was money. And I don't mean it like I was like bankrolling. My mother had left me and my brother a little bit. We used it for college, and still had some money left over.
Nice.
I thought I was gonna be a kingpin. I turned 20 into 100. It was great.
So you hit that street life
for a good second, but then I got to a position where it was more so like I didn't care for what I was doing, and I was like bored. The one thing about
most people would say that's an exciting lifestyle. Money coming fast,
The thing about it is there are exciting moments, but it's so much work to get to those exciting moments. I go and I throw maybe like 1,000 at the strip club, 20,000 at the strip club, just have fun. But guess what? I still gotta make that 20,000 the fuck right back because guess what? I just threw it.
Right, I gotta get that back now. So
that's
now I gotta go out there and get it. Yeah.
Now I gotta bug everybody I know and see if they want a bag because I just sat there and had fun.
All the money.
I'm a frugal person. I'm a Capricorn. None of that shit was fun to me. So I eventually said, let me take my money and use it to something else. The other things I used it for were dumb ideas. Tried to do the stock market thing without any help. It's a horrible idea to do that without any type of looking into it or figuring things out.
So I was saying, let me put this much money into that.
Yeah, and I just watched it just toilet. And then I had these years where I couldn't get a place because I spent so much time doing just cash. I didn't go out and get a credit. And I was like 22, 23 without credit.
Because everything was just cash.
Yeah, when you're doing that, it's all cash. So, and I didn't have a job because, of course, I was doing that shit. So, again, couldn't get a place. I was homeless for a good almost like 10 years. It was horrible.
10 years.
But that was because I spent those first few years just doing that shit, saying fuck it and living in the fuck it years. Once all the fucking years were done and I wasn't hanging out with none of the drug dealers or the strippers or the pimps and that shit, it was like, now taking my life into my own hands, I quickly ran out of money and I found myself like hotel hopping and all that other shit. And then there was this period of time where I was like on the streets.
Literally.
Oh yeah, I remember one time I just paid $20 to a fucking dealer so I could just stay at the fucking spot. I couldn't stay the whole night because guess what? It was full of bed bugs. I was in that bitch. Dude is doing drugs, chick doing some other shit. I know exactly what's going on. I'm sitting here like, I'm wondering why they look like they're in like trash bags. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, what the fuck is going on? And then after a while, I got my answer. I started to get hurt. I was like, what the fuck is this? I look around, there's bed bugs or everything. I got to sleep on a bug stop that night. And it was raining, so it was just even worse. And I was just spending the whole night just trying to get them off. And it was a horrible, man. Yeah. I never want to go back to that shit. Right. That was a horrible period of time.
Jesus Christ, 10 years like that.
Yeah.
Golly. And where's your twin brother at that time?
He was in Arizona at school. And then when he got back, there was this period. Okay, so when my brother was in Arizona in school, he ended up with his own set of issues and ended up actually dying. They had to resuscitate him. And after that, he came home. He was just and so he was back at the house with my parents, being helped and getting back to himself and getting back. No, he was here.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so he was, back there getting himself back together, and then eventually, he got married, got a place, had him and his wife and stuff like that. So, there was that period of time. And then in 2020, he actually passed away. And this time they didn't catch it fast enough.
The same issue?
Diabetes is, but from this time he had a seizure. Because after he had passed, he started having seizures and stuff like that. After they brought him back and stuff, so he had a seizure while he was sleeping, and no one noticed. I find that hard to believe, but they did.
I'm about to say that's kind of suspicious.
Listen, first and foremost, I've always personally. I don't know. Okay, so this is how it went down. I was there, so I'm not gonna act like I wasn't. This is what happened.
Yeah.
The night that he was, that everything was happening, he was throwing up. He was real sick. I could tell he was real sick, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling his wife, send him to the hospital. She's like, okay, we'll send him to the hospital. She goes and she talks to him. He hates going to the hospital, by the way. So he basically cursed her out. And she came back to me and said, no, he's not going to the hospital. I looked at her and I told her, dude, you really want to sit here and try to sacrifice, his life over his emotions? Right. And she was like, I just can't force him to go. Yes, you can. The fact of you, when you got married, a lot of times you get power of attorney. And guess what? She had power of attorney. So she could have forced him to go if needed.
Regardless what he said.
Exactly. She didn't want to get cussed out afterwards.
Damn.
So I don't blame her and I don't blame him. But I blame the whole situation and the way that they treat each other.
Like it didn't have to end like that. That didn't have to be the resolve.
Exactly. Yeah. Because if he would, honestly, we don't know. If he'd gone to the hospital, he could have still had that happen.
Right. Yeah, we can't speculate.
Exactly. But what I do know is that if something was done, I'd have more peace when it came to the situation. Yeah. Because personally, I used to blame myself about it all the time. I used to say, it was my fault. I couldn't believe that I let her make that decision over me making a decision over him. I could have done that. He's my brother. But guess what? Honestly, law would not allow me to do it. When I look up the information, I could have only done so much. I could have called the hospital.
True.
They would have came up here. They would have told him, you need to go. Yeah. And if he'd have said no, they went home.
You're right. Because I see your point, because you see it as there was an opportunity to say, fuck what he talking about. He's not in his right mind. He don't like this shit. One of us got to override what the fuck he's saying. Fuck him right now. He's fucked up. Let's get him to where we need to get him. And we had that window of opportunity, and none of us took that opportunity. That's
yeah. I used to live with that. And the worst thing was, I had a whole dark spiral when that happened.
I was about to say, how did that affect you? Because that's your twin, yo.
Not only was he just my twin, it was right before COVID. So guess what? Funeral happens, no one can come over. I'm alone for a good 2-3 weeks before I get to a point where I'm almost. Okay, let's go ahead and be honest. I got to the point where I was about to do it, end it, and call it a day, and just be over with the whole situation. My now wife knocked on the door right as I finished my last meal type deal. I was gonna make me some spaghetti and call it a day. I still remember exactly.
So you already had planned it out.
You
had it planned out. You was gonna take yourself out.
Yes, that was gonna be done. It was gonna be over with. What? I was sick and tired of how I felt. I was blaming myself that much. You know what I mean? And so my wife knocks on the door. My now wife knocks on the door at the time. She was just baby mom. Knocked on the door. I'm like, man, what the fuck is knocking on the door? And I'm getting up and I go and I see it and it's her. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck does she want? And I open the door. She has my daughter. I can't trip no more. I have my daughter in front of me. Officially, plan is over. I have to be dad. And that was the moment that she saved my life, and I realized it was one of the many moments that I realized I gotta be with Sue for the rest of my life. I didn't tell her, I wasn't telling anybody. My phone was off, so I wasn't even calling them, I wasn't even Facebooking about it or nothing. I was legit just completely alone, and she just knew that something was up. and showed up and dropped off my little one. Like, listen, you need her. And I remember after he passed, the room that he was in, I couldn't go in there, but that was the way to get to the bathroom. So I used to have to do some whoop through the window shit to get to the bathroom because I was avoiding that room. It was that bad for me. And so it was horrible those first few weeks, months, and like I said, COVID just made it worse.
Right, because now everybody's locked in, so now I'm forced to. I can't even go nowhere to get my mind off this shit. Like, and like you said, I'm walking by the room every fucking time I gotta go somewhere, and I'm trying to avoid the room, but I'm stuck in the same house. It's just I eventually ended up giving a place to my best friend, moving in with my now wife, and calling it a day. You know what I mean? We all ended up moving into Upper Arlington now, so things didn't got way better than that. But yeah, man, that is tough. Let me ask you, because my pop passed around that same time, that COVID time in 2020, like right before that COVID wave hit. And I had to make all the calls. And were you that person? You had to inform everyone, or was it somebody else? Because that was the toughest part. Like, I gotta put my emotions to the side, and I gotta call everybody.
Yeah, I did the calls. I called my dad. I called my guardians. I called my brothers and sisters. At first, nobody believed me, and once they started to hear me break down, trying to tell them,
oh, he's serious.
They knew. Yeah. They knew, and I put it on. It was probably one of the few things that I was able to put on Facebook before my phone had gone off, that he had passed, and nobody believed me. I got this one crazy chick who still hits me up and does not believe he's dead.
Still to this day,
hits me up, and it fucks me up every time she does it. I had to block her because it just was she was just like, you're lying. That's all she would say, is that I'm lying.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, he's
gone.
He's gone. I buried
She's just in denial.
Listen, I got his ashes in my crib, and I look at him most every day. He's gone.
Damn. Is she a family friend, or was she?
She was somebody that I guess dated him for a period of time.
She didn't want to believe it,
and she was friends with him after. By the time
they still kept in contact.
Yeah, they were just like friends by then. So yeah, it was just like she just couldn't believe it.
God. Damn.
I just didn't feel like she had to fucking mess me up every fucking 6 months about it.
Right, like, leave me alone, man. Like, every time you contact me, you force me to think about the shit I'm trying to live my life.
Yeah.
Bad enough, I feel guilty already. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, everybody in the Bible just already told me that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You did everything you could. You did the script. Yeah. All the other stuff, but.
Does that make you even more angry when people say that? Like, oh, you did all you can. He's like, I just want to punch a hole through y'all. Like, sometimes, shut the fuck up.
It honestly depends on the person.
Because it's like, y'all don't know shit. Like, stop telling me that.
If a person who honestly knows me, then I let it be what they're saying, because they understand the situation. They understand the whole thing. You know what I mean? And the worst part was like, it was just how she treated the situation after he passed. He passed. I ended up with a whole bunch, pretty much all his stuff.
Oh yeah, leave all the stuff behind.
And the worst part about it was, I couldn't keep it because I had it in storage, and then COVID, nobody's working, can't pay for storage.
Damn, you could escape it if you wanted.
And I lost all the stuff.
Damn.
I have almost everything. I mean, anything that I didn't put in storage,
gone.
It's gone.
Wow. So what do you have left of his? Anything?
I got him. I got a bunch of his games. I got some movies that he used to watch. I found out he was into some pretty old anime I didn't know of. But yeah, just a few things like that. Just not much. Yeah, and I don't blame her for the storage situation, because I was broke.
Couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah. But what I do feel like was the worst part was that we was asking for assistance, and she was just like, I can't help. She was, I feel like she was in the same position we were all in, but it just still didn't sit right. None of it sat right.
Right.
And I to this day I do I don't know. I don't know how to look at it.
Right.
I look at I love them when I see them, but you know, sometimes I just be like, man, if only,
right.
You know, if only I just had a little bit more power, a little bit more. It's a little bit. It's the reason why I'm more active now than I've been ever before. I used to ride the wave. I used to let things happen. But when I let something happen, I lost my bro, and I can't let that happen to like my daughter or the other daughter or my son or my wife. Can't let that happen to none.
Yeah. I think, man, it's so crazy. You speak about, you know, that moment where you had already decided, like, that's it, I'm out. I'm about to self-check-out. And your now then wife, they knock at the door with her, and she's holding your daughter, and you see that, you like, I can't do that. Like, I can't do my daughter. Like, how selfish would I be? That's a crazy moment. It seems like that moment right there for you in your life was a big pivotal change. Like, you know what,
without that there would be no this. Honestly, not just because I would probably be gone, but even if I wasn't gone, I wouldn't be the same. I would still be in the same slope that I was then. She was the beginning of me understanding the importance of my own life, not just for me, but for the people around me, the people who matter to me. If somebody, if I say you matter to me and I matter to you, I'm selfish to remove myself out of the game. And I understand there are folks who can't take it and can't handle it. I feel for you, but I most definitely had something that I can't give up for. I have a whole family that's now there. I'm a big person of wanting to have, you know, a legacy, a dynasty, a family that exists beyond. My biggest fear is that my kids won't have kids, and and that'll be over with after that. And you know what I mean? Like my brother, he has a daughter. Big shout outs to her. She is a beautiful young lady. She's grown up and she is so strong and independent. Every time I see pictures and videos, I almost fall into tears.
I bet.
You know what I mean?
Seeing this little girl.
Yeah, and it's funny because I see her and I see her mom in him, but I always see him especially in the eyes. It's just like,
you got
oh
his
man,
features.
yeah, just little bits here and there, and it's just like every time I see her, I realize, you know, there are ones that I need to be doing this for. She has a whole family that's supporting her and giving her love. She has her mom and all of them that are doing a great job. You know what I mean? Again, they are doing awesome. Like, she does all types of stuff, gymnastics and stuff. She's out here. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
So that's the thing. She has all these great opportunities that have been afforded to her, and I always look at that as one of the greatest boons that has ever happened to her, is the fact that she has such a great family. Again, we're a great family too, but I'm just saying, when I see her, she always reminds me, yo, you got a great family behind you that's really working hard to make sure you're doing the best that you can. And I just love it when I see them, like, you know what I mean? And it honestly, like, I guess I'm a little bit selfish. I think of everything that's connected to my brother as like a piece of my brother, and I guess that's not fair, but who cares?
Right. I mean, you are entitled to that experience because that's your experience. Like, nobody can tell you that's wrong. You're like, it's my fucking bro, man. Like, would you expect me not to live life and not have that attached to me? And I'm just supposed to just go on like, yep, it just, you know, it's cool. It is. No. Like, man, you lost a lot so early in your life, man. Like, your mom's, then your brother, then the homeless thing, diabetes, like.
Oh yeah, I forgot to even mention that.
Lord,
I had diabetes for one time.
Jeez.
I was 5.5. It was one of the weirdest things.
You was diagnosed with diabetes?
Yeah. I was in. Imagine your kindergarten year, you playing, you having fun, everybody's enjoying. So you go back to first grade, everybody treats you like a leopard. Like, yo, I remember they used to, the same people that I used to play football with, they would be like, let's pick that guy instead. I was the last one picked. I was like, dude, I'm still the same guy that runs you over. Like,
right. I'm not going to touch you, you get it. Like, oh, don't let him touch you, you're going to get it.
It was, oh man. And you know, my teacher made it very awkward because she had the explanation for the class.
So,
yeah, one of those moments where the teacher gets up and goes, all right, everybody, so Dustin's a little different than everybody else. He's got diabetes, you guys. And I know that has the word die in there, but he's not going to.
Oh my God.
Like, what?
Thanks, Teach. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for making me an outcast now.
You know what I mean? It just means that sometimes he needs to rest and he might need to eat a little bit more. And somebody raises their hand like an old person?
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, thank you, Grandpa. Now, like, oh man, they treated me. It was weird.
Jesus Christ.
But it was cool though, because after first grade, I just took advantage of it. I used to like skip high school was awesome. I'd skip whole classes for diabetes reasons. I was not feeling
it got
well.
You out of classes.
My blood sugar, my sugar of the blood. Let me go talk to the nurse.
Don't have my insulin today.
I go to lay down at the nurse's office for like 2 whole periods.
And it's an actual valid reason.
Well, yo, she just.
What do you want me to do? Sorry, I can't make it. Man, Jesus Christ, Greg. Man, you have like just in that short, you know, your adolescence is just so different and unique from most. You know, most people don't experience that. So, like, just boom, 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 and you somehow like you managed to, you know, still walk in your purpose. You know, because most people who will probably experience those type of things and those big traumatic losses, they can either go left or they're gonna go right. Like most people go left. They're like, you know what? Fuck everything. Like, I'm not chasing this. Whatever my talents and dreams are, whatever my goals are, fuck it all. Just I'm too down. It's not in me no more. Like, life beat the shit out of me. Yeah, but somehow here you are. That was what that sounded
like, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But somehow, like you said, like this year, it seemed like you have like just been, you know what? You pulled yourself out the concrete. Like you ever see like one of those scenes where like somebody just punched their fist out the ground and it's like, poof, I'm still alive, motherfucker. Man, let's do this, Gray. We're gonna take a quick break. I want to play some of your music, man. Because we got a lot more to get into, a lot more to talk about. I want to play some of you. What's the song that you think we should introduce the people to? The new joint?
Oh, yeah, latest one, Emerald City. Yeah, man.
Should we hit her with that?
Oh, yeah, man. I know everybody. Listen, I know y'all know, when you hear this, you're going to instantaneously go back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Especially if you're 30 or 40.
Right. Right. Before we get into this break and play the song, let the people know where they can find you at, Greg, where they can connect with you, where they can get all the work, where they can immerse themselves in everything that you got going on.
Oh, man, you guys can find me everywhere pretty much at Gray Mackenzi. I'm on Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much everywhere, and it's at Gray Mackenzi. Also, I do have a personal Patreon that is designed for you guys to see all the background stuff y'all see nowhere else. It's at Gray Mackenzi Made It. Yeah, and that's most definitely where you can find all types of crazy cool stuff. I'm gonna have background clips and sounds and all types of things like that. Songs that even haven't been released yet, they're on there too. So you really most definitely should go and check that one out too. Yeah.
Make sure y'all tap in with Gray Mackenzi. We'll be right back here on Club Talk Podcast. Don't go nowhere.
Look, I am the guy. Come on. I knock out lights or punch stars. Mash your belt better than yours. And my mental progression, paper balls. And since the days of my youth, my main pursuit been to get this loot. Sell salt to slugs, juice to a food. If your money's in a wave in your crib, I move. And I'm not at anger, but I could change the leave for this paper. Feel like I'm going insane if I ain't make a change from several angles. The voice in my head keeps screaming, get bread and keep with the movement. May your pockets be filled, your enemies killed, your obstacles move, king. And everywhere I go, I'm trying to get dough. I can go to sleep, it's like get dough. Everywhere I'm trying to be, I'm trying to get dough. So I'ma get dough until I get dough. Everywhere I go, it's like get dough. See, I can't go to sleep, it's to get dough. And everywhere I'm trying to be, I'm trying to get dough. So I'ma get dough until I see more. I got to be seen in green. Get paper, man, everywhere. Cause if you're not seen in green, then you should never be seen nowhere. All my niggas, you know that we got it. And we steady be getting covered. See, I got to be seen in green. See, I got to be seen with green. I've got to be seen with green. I get paper, man, everywhere. And if you're not seen with green, then you niggas shouldn't be seen nowhere. All my niggas, you know that we got it. All my homies, you
Alright, we back right here on the Club Talk Podcast. Greg Mackenzi is here. Man, hope y'all enjoyed that record. Produced by the almighty AU, of course, the world famous AU. We're going to talk about you and his connection a little bit. But you were just telling me off mic about, but before we get to that, your connection with Ness Words, who inspired you to get into the music thing. I was, just thinking about, all those things you went through so early in your life. Do you almost feel like you're called for something? Oh, like you have a divine purpose almost.
You know something? I didn't for the longest. Everybody named Mama would tell me, dude, you've everything you've been through, man. You need to talk. You need to get out here. You need to do this. And I'm thinking like, actually, I don't want to depress anybody. My story's pretty sad. What am I going to say? Oh, well, I made it out. Great job.
Hooray. Time to go sit down with my therapist now.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing is that I didn't realize how important just getting out of it was.
Yeah.
Getting to the point where you can be okay with listen, I used to, me and my brother got tons of songs together. I couldn't listen to them. If you would have played songs from my first album that had him on there, I'd probably ask you to skip it.
Can we go to the next one?
Back in the day, I would have, because I honestly
tough to listen to.
Yeah, it was tough. My wife, she made me sit down and do that, listen to all of his stuff.
Like, this is torture. Why are you making me do this?
But the thing about it was that after I listened to all of it a few 20, 30, 40 times, I realized that I was avoiding him. I didn't want to be connected to my bro because it hurt. And I'm a big avoider of pain because I have a lot of it.
I can imagine. That's why I said, like, and it's crazy, like you said, like, you early on, like, you didn't really like talk about these things publicly. You just kind of dealt with them internally. But it's crazy, like, when you see like the power of storytelling, like, and telling your story, how it resonates and connect with other people, and they can. There's a lot of people who've been through that, because a lot of times we can feel alone in it, and then when you share it, you're like, oh shit, like, and it gives other people hope. Cause like, damn, like, I lost someone close to me, or I've dealt with that, or I've been homeless, or I've lost a close person, a relative, a friend, a mother, a dad, whatever. And by you telling your story through these various art forms that you got, I think that will give people hope, inspire them, and to punch their fist out the ground.
Yeah.
And I think it's admirable that you was able to get to that point. Because you could have just sat back and be like, I'm not talking about none of this shit, man. Like, it hurts to, like, because every time I talk about it, I feel that again. It revisits me. I revisit all that. But I think it takes a lot of courage for you to do that. That's why I was actually, you almost feel like it's a divine purpose for you.
Well, honestly, at this point, like I said, before I didn't, but obviously, if I've said before, now I feel differently. I do feel that there is a reason that I'm here. Yeah. I have a dream, a goal, a plan. The difference between others is that they'll have the dream and the goal, but they won't have the plan. That's what I'm at. Is that I've created the plan, and now I'm walking that plan. And there is nothing that's going to make me veer off of it. You know what I mean? Me and my wife, we both agreed that was where we were going, was that plan. And that's the big thing. It's like, if you have a family, if they agree with it, you better do it. You know what I mean? It's like, how they would have the old, movies where the guy was a rapper and he let his girl let him borrow the car to drive to the spots and stuff, and he was always broke, but he would take care of the baby and all that. Yeah. Those are realities of what it's like, and if you have something like that in your corner, especially if you are someone who has a story, you better go and do whatever it is that they're pushing you to do, and it because it feels right.
I'm pretty sure it's probably therapeutic too.
Yeah.
It's almost like I have a duty to do this now. Like, I can't hold this to myself. Like, I have a duty to express this in some shape or form or fashion.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's get into you meeting Ness Words, man. Ness Words. Yeah, man. You tell me during break that, a lot of people assumed that it was Jack that, was first for you getting into, the music thing, but you said, like, you seeing Ness Words perform and do his thing actually inspired you to be like, I want to take this serious and do that. Talk about you and that connection with Ness Words and how you got exposed to him.
Well, I actually met him through a girl I was dating at the time.
Okay. You're how old at this point? Just kind of give people a timeline. What year are we talking?
It was 2011, 2012.
Okay.
So it's funny too because I rap about that period of time in songs because it was an influential period of my life.
Nice. Okay. So 2012. Okay.
She, introduced me to him because we were in the neighborhood and she had saw him. I was like, oh man, I know him. I remember him from this, that, and the other. And when I met him, he and I, we clicked on the rapping tip. Yeah. We hung out, used to drink beers together, hang out with his family, his son, his daughters, and all his sons and daughters, and all that. I used to spend time with the family, Teeny and all them.
Nice. And so I got pretty close.
Yeah, and then he was like, I do this, like I really rap, man. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's dope. And at the time, like I said, I was not taking it seriously. I didn't have music, I didn't have really anything. I was just, yeah, that's dope. I can spit, I got bars, I need a job. And you know what? It's so crazy when I told Ness that he got me a job.
That's crazy.
But it was crazy because all right, this is actually how it went down.
Okay.
We were staying with somebody, and they decided to just up the price that we were gonna pay. Black people, when things get tough for them, make it tough for the other folk.
Yeah.
They don't remind, and I don't understand that one. Whatever. It's just like, oh man, it hurts for me, so you gotta hurt too.
You gonna avoid this? Tax your ass too.
You feel me? So they were doing that, and we were in a position where we was like, we broke. We're about to be back on these goddamn streets, and I knew that he, did more than rap. And I was like, dude, man, just if you could pass it to me, I can flip it. Everybody who knows me knows I could get this shit off. Just do it for me, bro, please. And he looked at me. He was like, "No."
Wow.
And instead, he got me a job, and that was how I got the job.
Regular 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, we worked at that 9-to-5 job too. It wasn't like he just got me some random spot. He got me a job that he worked. And so we be at the job, spitting bars, working on the album that he ended up. The first album he dropped, I remember he was showing me songs and stuff. Bars he was rapping to me about it, the singing song he did, and stuff like that. So I got a chance to see all of those things,
happening in real time.
Yeah, so it was really cool to watch it happen and then get the album. I remember I bought it way back when it was like Google Play was like a fucking thing you could do.
Play, yeah.
You could buy music on that shit. Remember?
Yeah, Google Play. I remember them days. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was 2012. So seeing him in real time, like you said, y'all working together, y'all close, and he gets you out the street life. You're like, listen, we going to make honest money. I don't give a fuck how slow it's coming, but we going to make this honest money. So you seeing him do that, work on his album in real time. You see him write, he's showing you songs and bouncing stuff off of you, and the album comes out. At that point, have you released anything at all? So you're just a regular person. Are you involved in the fashion stuff yet, or the writing, the comic writing?
So I started writing. The comic is a completely crazy thing because I originally wrote a graphic novel, which is like 75% done on the writing tip. I stopped writing it for other reasons, homelessness and stuff. Of course.
Homelessness and stuff. Life happened.
You know what I mean?
Right, like, take a pause on this real quick. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the real origin of even the comic series. Now I decided to take that very world that I created in that graphic novel and push the years forward and do a bunch of other stuff that I wanted to do and transform it into a completely different world and give it the time to actually transform into that. Because anything you want to do takes time. Yes. If you want to turn a place from one style to another, it can't really just happen overnight. Nobody changes within 24 hours. You know what I mean? That's why they show in The Last of Us show and The Last of Us game, it was 10, 20, some odd years before, you see this world looking completely different. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. So I pushed it forward to do that, and then I used that as the basis of the comic world that I created from that point on, and I've just been working on that for particularly the comic series. Yeah. But like I said, even that is only a piece of what everything is. You know what I mean? And honestly, like I said, I just feel that I've been able to take the crazier, events in my life, the things that have happened, the stuff that people have done and have done to me. It's just, turn those into moments and evolve those into something that is something you can watch or something you can read. The reason I'm in college now is so I can take my, schools, so I can take my stories and put them on TV. I have a specific, I have a dramedy, bro. It's gonna be dope.
You ain't lying. You said you got this planned out.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Wow.
And it's funny too because the dramedy is all about Eastland, I love that mod. I used to be my spot. Eastland and the city center. Those used to be the joints.
That was before my time, but I hear stories about those places. Man. Around here.
Oh man, downtown was the spot to be, and then Eastland, city center was downtown. And Eastland is like. It used to be around where you're at.
Oh shit, around this part, huh?
Yeah, a little bit of like closer towards Livingston.
Okay.
But still east like this, but Livingston.
Okay, got you. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, okay, so at what point for you, out of all the creations that you were developing at that time in 2012, 2013, and so on. Before you obviously had to sit down and take that break and just figure shit out. Yeah. Because the homeless stuff happened. At what point did you decide, like, you know what? I gotta really buckle down with this. Like, let me stop playing around with it until I'm tired. And I come to it when I get inspired. Then I drop it off. Then I come back. What point did you like? You know what? I've really gotta lock in with this shit. Let me stop fucking around. Like it can't be a hobby no more. I really gotta
2022. 2
years ago. Let's go.
Seriously. The thing about it was I came to the realization I got so many different random things that were
sitting on so much time for so many years. Like, all right, fine. Guess I'll bunker down with this shit. All right. Damn, man. Okay, fine. I'll lock in with it.
It's funny because, like I said, I had so many. They were all separate things, and I was just sitting down. I'm sitting down, and I'm at this is when we were staying at my wife's mom's place when we were switching into our new place out here in Upper Arlington. It was like
nice
during that middle time. I was like, okay, so I have like these shirts that I've been doing, and I literally did them because I have a love for like patches and asymmetry and things like that, and I don't see that too much in clothing these days, well as colors and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I did those little things and put those together as something that I could wear. So thus I had these boys. These are the classic editions, but it's so crazy because with these, I've been able to, branch out and create different things now. And now I have a brand 11s, which actually is funny because nobody understands it. It's 6 plus 1 plus 4, 11. Or if you want to be more specific, it's 7 plus 0 plus 4, which is another one of our area codes. Or it's 830, which is also a third area code of Ohio, Columbus. That is the reason for 11s.
Hard. So any formulation you want to use, whatever equals 11, take your choice, take your pick. Fire.
That's why I have the 614 and the 740 right here on these ones, and then I have other ones that got the 830 and the what you call it, the 614 and stuff like that on them too.
Yeah, for those who are watching on YouTube, y'all can see it right now. For people who probably want to purchase, can they?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Where can they pick this up at?
Honestly, right now, you just would have to hit me up on the 11's Facebook page, and then you go ahead and message there, and then we'll be able to get you hooked up with that. Mainly because we do them each time you ask. We do it because we have different designs. Now we're going to be dropping the combination with the comic book. We're going to have some of the comic book characters on the front and things like that. So I have a picture of one of the prototypes that has one of our little Pokemon-esque characters called Ninja Swine. Nice. And so we got other stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be working on right now. We can and like I said, we do the classics. Every time you ask them, right then, and you have them out to you. So, we most definitely got them. Just go ahead and hit us up on Facebook.com /11s Urban Fashion. Yeah, that's the full name.
Nice. I love it. I want to ask you about, because like so you're so creative and immersed in a lot of stuff. I want to talk to you about like your creative process, how you come up with these ideas, like. How do you? Because when I look at your stuff, when you send you everything, because you wasn't playing, you was like, I can send you a bunch of shit, but let me condense it for you, then I'm gonna send it over to you. So you sent me a link with all your link trees and stuff to the comic book stuff, the music, the everything, and I'm like looking at this stuff, and I'm like, how is his brain working? Because it's original ideas. It's not some copy and paste shit. It's like, and it's made me curious. Like, how is he coming up with this stuff? How do you come up with your concept, your ideas for, even like your designs, your writing, the story outlines? I know you talked about a little bit earlier that you took a lot of it from your personal life experiences and just put it in that form. But just even the look of it, like how the characters look, the writing of it.
I usually
talk about that creative process.
I live in the way I do things. I live in a system what I call threes. I take 3 separate things and I stick them together to create what I'm looking for. What I did for my comic was I have a daughter, so the main character had to be a girl. My brother, his favorite anime was One Piece, so they had to be pirates. I love sci-fi. I love Star Wars. I love Marvel. That all has to be in there. So that was literally what I would do with things. I would take 3 essences, I call them, and I put them together to create whatever it is I'm looking for. And then once I have the base, I could just start. I could just blow. I could create the past, the future, and I just go on from there. All I need is a place to start. And then I just go from there. Like, I remember I wanted to have a guy who has one arm and has a robot arm. And I was like, and I wanted the arm to be see-through. And because I wanted the arm to be see-through to where you can see the mechanics, it'd be like, why would you do that? What's the point of that? And so I ended up creating like a whole race of robot-esque characters that have that feature where you can see through them. And it is the design that is there so that they can avoid damage. It is a way to protect themselves. It creates a softer area where you bounce things off. You'll see all types of stuff happening because of that. And I just did it because I wanted something there. And so that's how my mind really works. If I want something, then I'm going to make it happen, whether or not I made it happen from something that happened so far in the past or something that's about to happen that's being put together around this situation. So, you know what I mean? It's all time. That's how usually it works for me.
Do you work backwards? Like you see the ending before the beginning, or do you start like in the middle? Like as far as like formulate a storyline, like I'm gonna work backwards, or let me start with this concept or this character, and I want this to happen in the story. Like how
it's random, really. I'm more so I choose random.
And are you high most of the time?
Oh, that's funny too because not really.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think so. Because it's so abstract.
Concept creation is usually a sober time for me.
Nice.
Once I've got the concept down, I blaze and I'm gone.
So you knocking this stuff out pretty quick.
Most of the time.
How long does it take you?
Oh, listen, I if I really want something to be as realistic as possible, I could take years studying it. That was the thing. I spent about 6-7 years studying the things I wanted for this story, so that when you read it, you go, oh, well, this is possible. Yeah, right.
It's believable.
Yeah, even though it's out there, it's still possible. It's possible enough, especially with the time period for these things to happen and exist.
It's not too far-fetched.
Exactly. Like I said, if I care about something, I will learn about it. I even though I started smoking when I was 13, I stopped for a good period of time, and before I went back to it, I studied it. I wanted to understand what the heck I had been getting myself into at a young age. So that's the thing. I'm that type of person. If I care, I'm gonna. And that's even with people. And that's the reason why a lot of times I got out of relationships real fast, because I studied and I found the pattern, and I understood that this person in that pattern was going in a direction I didn't want to go. And even though I'll ride the wave, guess what? You can always do on that surfboard. Get off the fucking wave. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Because I find this a lot as far as like when I've sat down with a lot of creatives, and I'm curious to know if you do the same thing. Do you scrap a lot of shit?
No, actually.
Wow, you're probably one of the few artists I've met who actually said no.
I thought about it.
Every artist I had on I scrapped so much shit.
Every time I've scrapped something, I've came right back to it. That's just how, it's weird. I assume that I'm gonna trash it. I so many stuff that I'm just like, fuck it. But then like 6-7 months later, I've picked up the concept, the song, go back to it. The story, the whatever, and I'm finishing whatever I started over there. It's something in me that makes me go back to those things, and I just gotta finish. I think it's a little OCD, but we're not gonna go into that.
So you don't leave a lot of things unfinished.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like to. It negs at me. Even if it's like if I get a beat from, like, let's say Jack sends me like a beat and I say, I'm gonna do this song with this beat, Jack. Yeah. He goes, okay, cool, whatever,
Have fun.
Yeah, Doc, do you think? But I might not do anything with that for a year. But I will do it.
You eventually get around to it.
And then I hit Jack up. I did it. He's like,
he probably forgot about the beat.
He forgot it. Yeah, it's all the time that way. He forget it existed. What? The what?
Right.
I did what for you?
Yeah. Wow. Speaking of Jack, I want to ask you about your connection with him. And I know you mentioned earlier that you met him through That's Words. How did y'all lock in and start working together?
Wonder Juice. That was our very first song. He showed me pretty much an unfinished version of the beat, and that's pretty much been our thing from then on. As he'll give me like a beat that's almost finished, I'll make a song on it, and he'll finish it up based off of what I've done, and then boom, that's how
y'all work.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were sitting there and he showed it to me, and I was like, I'm gonna make you feel. I started singing the thing. He was like, okay, you got a little hook. I make hooks very fast, so all you gotta do is have a beat for me. I'll throw a hook together and a heartbeat.
Whip it up like waffle batter.
Facts. Hooks are easy. I love hooks. They come very easy to me. But the problem with that is that if I don't know the concept, I'll just start the hook. I got some hooks. They know what the fuck I suck. Everybody else knew.
Wow. What comes easier to you? Is it music, the fashion, or the comic stuff?
The comics.
That comes faster.
Way faster, and it's mainly because I'm a history buff. So I love to create history, and most of the time when I'm working on my story, I'm working in like the background stuff because I've already written what I need to write, and now it's pretty much going to the art people that are doing the art stuff for it. Yeah. At this point, that's what's happening. So for me, I just get time to just write the history. This is really cool thing I want to talk about. Oh, let me just go ahead and write about it in the past. Yeah, that's all I get a chance. That's what I do now when it comes down to the story. Yeah. I got this amazing artist, Mills Digital. Shout out to Mills. That man is most definitely, he's the main artist on the comic, and he is he created the look. What I would do with him is, again, 3 essences. I seen 3 pictures of 3 different people, and random pictures mostly, and he blends them together into a unique individual each time.
Crazy.
But it's also based off of this general lineup of stuff I tell him that I'd like for the character to be like and to have and to do and things like that, and then boom, he's just he's amazing.
Nice.
Most definitely.
Is it challenging to juggle all 3 of these things, the fashion, the music, and the writing? Like, that's those things.
Not as difficult as it is to juggle 4 things, and I most definitely am juggling 4, and that 4th one is gonna be cool.
Break it down to us.
Okay, so I'm making a game. It's gonna be based off in the world of the story. You know how everybody and their mama got like what do they call those things? Mascot horror.
Mascot horror.
Your Five Nights at Freddy's, your Poppy Playtimes, they're all called mascot horror.
Okay, gotcha.
That's their general thing, because if you ever played those games, there's not much blood, there's not really too much, and it appeals to all ages.
Not really not really gory.
Yeah, but it's still, you still get the jumps, you still get the scares, you still get what the fuck is that?
Your shock jumps.
Yeah, a lot of that type of stuff, but yeah, I'm working on that with the group and people.
4 things.
Yeah, and the 4th one was not my fault. I honestly can say that.
You found yourself involved in it. They asked you.
What I did was I got on Reddit. Fuck Reddit. I got on Reddit. Nah, it's a great site. And I got on there, and I was in there talking with some other people that one of them is actually in school with me. And he's in there, but he likes to make games and stuff. And I was in there with a bunch of those guys, and I was like, you guys ever wondered about, Willy Wonka? And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, why does everybody consider it to be some sort of like magical, fun story? That's a horror story. Do you understand the shit that those kids go through? First and foremost, listen, he comes in, lies to your faces. First off, that's the first thing he does.
Yes.
And once he starts lying to you, then he takes you into his factory.
Yep.
One kid gets sucked up in a tube, and then little midgets hop out, sing about it, and take him away.
Fucking terrifying.
You feel me? Like, what the? I mean,
if you really think about it.
Did you see the tunnel scene?
Now that you break it down like this.
And then when you read the book, it's not better. I felt attacked because the first time that they did it, they looked like slaves, African slaves.
Lord have mercy.
They made a revision so that they don't look as black. They made them lighter.
So you think it's a deeper meaning to that?
You feel me? So all of that tripped me out, and so I internalized, unified, and created all that slavery dynamic, the Willy Wonka-esque stuff, and our beautiful mascot horror that allows it to be played by every fucking person in the world. And I created Wallow. Wow. It's gonna be pretty cool. I wish I could. It's funny. I wish.
Don't give us too much.
That I could show you the stuff. But when you see the things, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. And it's platforming, which is something that is not really seen too much in horror games. There is one that just dropped, but it's a bounce house game. I don't know how that's going to work out. Okay. But platforming and horror are something that actually I feel like platforming by itself is a challenge enough that you can put that into a horror game. Monster chasing after you gotta jump and get to the right spot. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? Reach here, get that, all those types of things.
Yeah.
I'm really influenced by Resident Evil 2. So that's the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil, the latest one, Village. Those two have been a huge influence on the creation of the game. Mainly because of the way that those two games are structured. You're constantly being chased in two, which is usually the structure of the end of the horror part of a game. You end up having a point where they're chasing you, of course, and you're running your ass off.
Trying to survive.
Yeah, and then there is the fact that in Village there were like so many in-depth challenges that were just in the area. It wasn't like you could tell that this was like some crazy lock made by who's or what. It was like you did certain things and an accident, you somehow got into a new area. Yeah. And it was that type of discovery mixed with that type of, run for my life, something trying to hit me, and a little bit of jumping here and there. And I feel like that's great.
Man. So is there a time frame where we can expect this? We talking 2020.
The most thing that we're going to be expecting anytime soon is going to be music. That's I'm a type of person.
The album's dropping next month, yeah?
No, the single's dropping next month.
The single's
dropping. The album that I'm I am working on an album, but I don't have a date for that, mainly because
so you still touching some things up.
I know it's next year.
Also, everything's coming next year, but
the album comes next year, and then the comic's going to be coming the same year as the album, and then the game is probably going to be coming after that. But my clothes are going to be dropping this spring.
Spring. Okay. Hey, you rolling out the red carpet.
I have a lot of stuff I need to get out.
Man, is it almost like you're like a kid again, just like ready to release all this?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I can't wait for y'all to see all this stuff I've been working on. Like, just like have fun with this, guys. Like as much as I had fun creating it for y'all. Like, I hope y'all enjoy it just as much as I enjoy creating it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's beautiful. What do you hope people receive? Like you want them to like really pay attention to the most out of all. If you can. I know you want all people to enjoy all of it, but if you could say, I really want y'all to pay attention to this.
The main things that I say I really want them to lock in is the comic and the music, but see that's one thing that I have done really strategically. I don't market my music to people who don't listen to really a lot of music, hip hop and stuff like that. Yeah. Nor do I now market my comic to folks that don't read comics. So like basically, I have specific crowds that like the things I do. Got a whole comic crowd that can't wait for the comic to drop. Got a whole bunch of music heads. It's like, oh man, Gray's about to drop again. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that I'd like to do. I call them environments, communities. I like to cultivate that with that, so that I can go straight to you and be like, hey, new, there you go, boom, and they're like, oh my god. Right. And so if somebody who likes my music might like my comic, dope. I love that. That's cool. If you don't, dope, that's cool. Right. I didn't care. Like,
cop a t-shirt, here you go.
You feel me? Like that's the thing. Like if I can
something for everybody.
Exactly. That's how I want to come out. I don't want to bring myself, at least for the next 4 or 5 years, to bring myself as a person who does not have something for you.
Nice.
I don't want to be everybody's favorite, but I do want to have something for you.
Yeah, right.
It's all. Right. You know what I mean? If you
like that one song, thank you.
Exactly. If you only like one of my songs, you play that shit every day when you wake up or when
Fine by me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You are the best. And if you are a person who only buys my shirts, then yes, thank you.
Let me know
you
what
are
size
the best. I will get you every time, get you right. You know what I mean? That's just how I've treated it, and I feel like that has given me the most positive reaction from that. You know what I mean? Is because every unique connection is genuine. I don't want you to feel like I am selling myself to you. I want you to feel like I'm showing you something I do. Right. You know what I mean? You feel me? When you don't feel threatened or forced to do nothing. Yeah. That's usually when people become most receptive. I've watched people who never listen to hip hop listen to my music and become a fan because I
just because who you are.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's only so much you can do with that. Which is the reason I do podcasts and other things, because I can't get to know you, everybody. I can't talk to every person. But guess what? I most definitely can tell you where you can find me. Yes. So if you want to get to know me a little bit better, here's my music. If you want to get to know me in this way, here's my clothes. If you want to get, that's pretty much how I feel about it. And I'm always the type of person who wants to not just support my people, but make sure that you understand what I'm doing just like you're understanding what your own peeps are doing. Yeah. I don't want you to feel forced or confused or any of that stuff. Yeah. Especially because these days, rappers are rude.
Talk about it. Talk about
That's
it.
one of the reasons. Yo, that's funny too. After NASA passed, that was one of the reasons why I didn't pop out as much, is because niggas is assholes.
Yeah.
Oh god. So and Jack was like, "Me, you gotta have to buck up, grow up, man. Get a pair. You can't just sit here and be scared of it."
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not scared of it. I just don't like dealing with it.
Yeah.
But now I'm at the position where I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll just deal with it. If you got a problem with what I'm doing, I'm just gonna continue to move in the direction that I'm moving.
Right.
I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that I pretty much say all the time. I can't stop. Cannot quit. Can't move slower. None of that shit that people be on. I can't do it.
Yeah. So with that being said, there's probably not going to be a lot of features on this next project.
Oh, I'm always down for features. That's the thing.
So you're not standoffish to that point.
Hell no. You know what it is? What I do is I'm actually telling a story with my music. Each song is a specific story within itself, but they all unite together to tell a giant story within itself. And that story is actually involved, is a part of the bigger story that I create.
Yeah.
Everything, like I said, is connected. That is how I've been running my system since I've been doing this whole rebrand.
Yeah.
Once I got full control of my music and everything else, that is it. Vibe, it's all connected.
Nice.
And every single thing that I do is going to connect somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
Even my shirts, the reason why I'm doing the Ultranova /11 shirts is because of it's because it's connected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're going to end up actually seeing characters wearing these shirts in the story.
Fine.
So stuff like that.
It's all connected.
Yeah. That's the plan, and that's the goal. You know how do you remember that Marvel branding when they started saying that shit everywhere? It's all connected.
Yeah.
But then when you looked at everything, it wasn't like the comics weren't connected to the movies, but the movies weren't connected to the fucking television shows.
It's like, why are he playing him?
You feel me? Why is so? You mean to tell me it's all connected? No,
Yeah, but it's really not.
Exactly. So I decided to take that brand and say, I'm gonna do that for real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that for real.
Nice. Man, this is exciting, man. It's an exciting time for you, too.
Yes,
man.
I am super duper excited about all this. I'm not saying super duper like that.
The nerd within you came out. This one thing y'all learn, people. The true essence of somebody is always going to come out somehow. Like a word or a mannerism. Be like, that motherfucker's a nerd. Had your nerd moment. All right, Greg, we're going to take one more break. Let's get into some more music. What should we play for the people next? What do you want to get into?
Let's go ahead and play the one I dropped prior. See It Snow Too. I love that joint, man.
See It Snow Too. Woo! All right, we'll be right back here with Gray Mackenzi. Gray, let them know where they can find you at again.
Like I said, you can find me everywhere: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. Gray Mackenzi everywhere.
Hey, here I is. Tap in, Club Talk Podcast.
My name's Gray, and I came from CO. And me and all my brothers, it's the city of snow. That's because everywhere we go, in the city is froze. That's if you ever come around, you best have a call. Tell them I do what I won't make a move, y'all jump. I do what I want. If you wanna come around, you best have a call with ya. Fresh off a move, straight off the gate, I am. Deep poly pants, they call me Gray and I came from CPO into my own. And now, I need a street, I need a throne. Supernova, my star is. Cut from a different car, kids, no more cribs, apartments. Own lands, the target. Turn churches to mosh pits from all of my life. Flip you looser than Moss is. Fine, lift my lock is. Wanna see me acting straight up out of character. Say no disrespect, but let me know about your parameters. Cause they be sleeping on me like I'm handing out a grammar quiz. When I'm just trying to teach them how to get up out they mama's crib. My name is Gray and I came from CO. And me and all my brothers, it's the city of snow. That's because everywhere we go, in the city is froze. That's if you ever come around, you best have a call. Tell them I do what I want. Make a move, y'all jump. I do what I want. If you wanna come around, you best have a call with ya. I lost my twin, it was the end. And then, the rest of my life, I start again with my kids. A piece of my heart, they are my soul, my love. Those are my wife, none left for hoe. Let's stick down for with the God and the family. I said the poly pencil, what the thinking poly mean? Got a roll of dicks full of shit, the people that older me. chill, sit back with your fam and relax. My name's Gray and I came from CO.
Alright, we back right here on Club Talk Podcast. The super dope, most creative person in the city of Columbus, Gray Mackenzi is here. Do you think right now you're outworking everybody in the city of Columbus?
I hope I am.
Like,
because I honestly I spent so much time not doing anything that I have to do this now. Because if I would have started working this hard in 2012, I would have all of the resources and funds to have released every last thing, and who knows what my life would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is the thing. I gotta work this hard now.
Yeah.
I wasted so much time. I can't waste any more seconds. Not another minute can be wasted playing around in this, BS that I watch people do here. Yeah. I love this city. This is my home. But I gotta go. I gotta get out, and I gotta figure out where the rest of the world wants to hear. Because guess what? For the first time ever, my music plays more here than it plays anywhere else in the world. And it used to only play in other countries. Like when I say that this is the time for me to actually do something, this is the time.
Yeah.
When my first time that my first album, Delay Boomer, it plays in other countries, but it don't play here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah, a lot of people call it smoking music. Not even smoking music, more like sleeping music. Because I was really smooth with most of my songs on that first project. So it wasn't much people,
More melodic.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You heard it. It wasn't too many upbeats ones. The most upbeat one was like stuff like Goals Part 2. And then that's the one that got the most plays back in the day.
Of course. You're like, well, I know where my audience is at. So.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. When I went about creating this project, I was like, all right, I'm not going to, I didn't realize it until after I started making the songs and dropping them that I'm getting way more play here within the Midwest than I literally have ever gotten before. Yeah. And that's letting me know it's time to start to like branch out, see what these people hear actually, if they really want to hear me. Because one thing that I did find out, sadly, not even sadly, I guess this is really good news for me, but okay. I don't like that. I say sadly because I love
sad good news.
I call it sad because I love my squad that I was with, But back in the day, I was with a squad of people when I was with, AU and stuff like that. And I was technically one of the top people making money. I didn't know that until years later. Jack was like, yeah, man, you're pretty much outperforming everybody else except for like one other guy.
Wow.
And so you know what I mean, and I would always look at those things and I saw, oh well, I get play outside of the country, so I never assumed I was really getting that much better than anybody else because everybody else was getting shows, everybody else was getting stuff, everybody else was being seen here. But come to find out, those people weren't listening after they would do the show.
Kind of like one and done. Like.
Yeah, and that was something that I noticed that was really big here. And it made me a little bit sad dealing with it. Was that fact that the same folks that might, be at all your shows where you get paid pennies.
Yeah, you're not making much for the show up.
You feel me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in the streets, man. You mean tell me this all I'm making?
You feel me? So you don't. That's where they show up, and you don't make a lot of that unless you've already got the deal to make a lot of that. And if you know what I mean, so if you haven't set in the deal to make the bigger money, you just got a guy performing and just and all your people show up to see you perform, you didn't make nothing. You made nothing, and you're going the networking is great. I love networking and talking to people now.
Yeah.
Used to hate it. I honestly used to hate it.
But now
I love to get to know new people and experience and see what you've done. Where do you know? Where can we go with this? You know what I mean? I have this one young lady who I've been kicking it with on like Facebook because she is a rapper and I think she's really dope. And I want to have her on one of the joints and stuff. So if everything works out with that, she'll be on the song with me and stuff like that. Nice. But that's the type of stuff I like to do. I love to
collaboration.
Yes, I used to be the guy that would have that wanted to collaborate with every person I would run into. And it got to a point where I just realized most people don't like to collaborate because they want to have their own fan base. They don't want you taking their fan base.
Right.
They don't want you stepping into their spot.
Yeah.
And unless they're making money off of you stepping into their spot too, they don't want you there.
True.
And it's not, I mean, I guess that's a good way to look at it, but it doesn't get you anywhere when it comes down to like the bigger things. I haven't seen any of that. And not to be funny, I haven't seen anybody from Columbus make it as a rapper or a singer. I've seen people make it from Cleveland. I've seen people make it from Cincinnati. I've seen people make it from Toledo, but I haven't fucking seen it in Columbus. And it's like, why?
That was a great question, Gray. Why is that?
Because we don't want to work together. We look at each other as enemies. We look at each other as competition. And that is a big thing that's happened here. I don't know what's going on, why, but I just know that's what I see. And when and all I do is talk about what I've seen.
Yeah, and you don't take part in that. You down to work with everybody.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Listen,
you're not one of those.
No,
let's make it clear.
Hit me
Greg
up.
Mackenzi is not one of those.
Hit me up.
Because they go like, oh, he probably just like them too. He say all that good shit, but if I hit him up, he probably go not even respond to me.
Hit me up. I most definitely am down to work with you and whomever else is out there. Because I love creating music.
Yeah.
I love creating.
Yeah, period.
Just
like
period.
Whatever
You know
your
what
ideas are, let's see if we can figure it out. I like it. Let me ask you about I know we're talking about everything, but Vibes Multimedia. We talked about everything that's under it, but talk to me about the name Vibes and how did you come up with this whole, like, you know what, let me create the spearhead so I can have everything under this umbrella. When did you imprint this? The Multimedia. Because so much under that.
Big shout out to Game Theory.
Hey.
Because that was where it came from. Matt Pat, he did an episode where he was talking about the rights that you have to your names and your things like that. Because he was talking about the SCP Foundation and things like that, and how that is just a collective of individuals putting stories into one area and no one owns them. So people are constantly using stuff from out of there and getting money off of it and not really giving back to any of the individuals that created stories, and they don't have to because it's not something anyone owns. So that was what made me say I gotta own it.
Because it's a lot.
You gotta, if at any time one thing becomes not mine anymore, I don't have control over the direction that it goes. And if at any time someone could just swoop up and take it, I don't own it.
Yeah, so he's like, you know what? Let me get this shit airtight.
And also my brother had created a label called That Unknown Vibe. He made me a person that was like in control of that thing.
Oh wow!
And so when he died, I had all the debt, and I just closed the business because I couldn't take it. I couldn't deal. I couldn't handle.
That's a whole label.
Yeah, and it was debt attached to it, so I just wasn't trying to deal with it. But after that, I started my own company. And originally, it was just going to be a label itself, another vibe. But I ended up looking at everything that I've created, and I was like, yeah, man, this is way more than just music. And if I even give any of this just an inch to someone else, they could turn it into something I don't like, I don't know. Even the boys creator, he's a pretty, I guess, not good person when it comes to the things that he creates. He likes to look at let's talk about the stuff he made. Okay. He got the whole scene. You know the scene in The Boys, the first episode where they assaulted a Starlight, they chipped the assault Starlight. Guess what? Well, it was more people in there in the comic. It was way worse and it was way more graphic. That was the type of person he was. He created those types of scenes, and he did it often. Wow. So because he did that was, and guess what? Now we have a little bit more of a toned down version. I don't know when people were going freak nasty crazy, wondering about what was going to happen for the Hero Gasm episode. Because that chapter, disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. There's a giant orgy with superpowers, and so that's what Hero Gasm was. And so that's the thing. When you saw the hero, when that episode was coming up, the whole media circus just went nuts because they were like, are they going to go as far? They didn't. Of course, we knew they weren't. It's not porn. So that's the thing. But when he looks at these things, he's not pleased. He doesn't like how they've toned certain things down, even though he does agree that he went too far on certain things. Even back then in Hankety Yank, I guess it's because they make them. You know how they do. You guys are right. I took it a little too far, but I do feel that they're changing my story a little bit more than I enjoy. Hankety Yank. So I don't want that to happen.
I see.
You feel me? Even
so I gotta protect my shit.
and then Disney. His whole shtick.
Oh, Lord.
He lost a whole character based off of trust.
Yeah.
And after that, he was a snake.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what turned Disney from a good person into a snake. Because after that, he started doing stuff like saying he was the guy who put sound onto cartoons when that was not him. He went on and did he did cartoons with color first, that was not him. He did a lot of stuff where he said he did these things and it was not him. He put a lot of work into his creations though.
Right.
We're not going to say he did no work. But most definitely, he was much better at manipulating the media than he was at creating his creations.
Wow. So let's say there's somebody who's like listening to this or watching this, and they like, hey, I wanna get down with Vibes Multimedia. Not as an artist, nothing, but I want to work on the series. Like, would you be open to letting people come in?
Oh hell yeah!
Like,
see, that's the thing.
Contribute as writers, designers.
Only thing I ever had, man. Only thing that I have ever had.
Because the party, they're like, oh, he probably won't even hire nobody.
Oh yeah, I most definitely. It's funny too because
he go ahead and last final word. I want you to have no input.
There's an LGBT story that's being written by a friend of mine that is going to be taking place in the story's world.
Hey,
so yeah, we got. I'm always down for people to write, and I absolutely love to hear the things that are going on.
Ideas.
You know, and the thing about it is, only thing I ever do is give them either a period. If they go, I want to write a love story in your stuff, or I want to write a story about this, that, and the other. I go, well, okay, well, I'll either give them a thing that exists in my story that they can have as a MacGuffin in their story, or I give them a time period, and that's it. You just have fun from there. And you know, unless they want to talk to me and get input from me, you know, I have a giant ass encyclopedia worth of history notes in a document that I literally hand out to people if you want to know.
You just want to use me as a resource, that's fine too. You
feel me? And I've always done that and that was how that story even got started. The one thing that I was talking about. 3D comics. I made a joke about having 3D comics in the future, and that joke became an actual idea.
Right. And now look, it has life.
Yes.
So it's like crazy, like how just a thought or idea could just become something real and tangible.
Yeah.
Even when, like you say, just joking about it, like just shooting this shit and like, actually, we may have something with that. Like, hold up. I'll get back to you in about a week. They present on to you like, oh shit.
Yeah, and I literally presented an idea of what just a general idea of this is what I would like to be the thing that they're doing and they're involving themselves with. And they have their own lives, their own story, but this is the one thing that's going on. And it's funny because now the story is that LGBT great story that she's working on. But it's also the birth of that type of comic, of the 3D comics. So that and then guess what? Those writers are my main character's favorite comic book writers.
Yeah, look at that. So is it safe to say by mid next year, your wife will get some of your time back?
Oh, yes.
She'll get her husband back.
Yes. Yes, she will begin to get her husband back. And,
do you want to take this time to apologize to her right now?
I am so sorry, wife. I want you to know that I love you so much, and everything that you've done for me has allowed me to become this great man that everybody's seeing on here. And I'm sorry. I promise you're going to have your time. I promise you.
Beautiful. All right, Greg. Winding down here, I got a couple of this or that's for you.
Okay.
So you got to pick one or the other.
Okay.
So when I was going through all your whirlwind of your own world that you created, I was like, let's throw some this or that's at him to see what he picks over the other. Now they're pretty easy; they're not too hard. Softball ones, we'll see what you go with. All right, so this or that with Greg Mackenzi, everybody. All right, first one for you. Sign to UMG as an artist. $750K advance. $750K advance. But you have to give up everything else. Everything Vibes Multimedia, it gotta go. They listen. You in the office, you in the room, contract is ready. $750 deal advance. You sign that, you're down with UMG as an artist. But they say, hey, we can't have you attached to anything Vibe. Anything Vibes Multimedia, it gotta go. Or think about it. Or Nike contacts you, say, "Hey, Greg Mackenzi, we've seen your work with the fashion thing. What do you think about getting a limited edition collection fashion line with Nike? You own that limited edition, but your brand is attached to Nike. You get to use our warehouses, our resources, our designers. You get to sit down with our team. You get to come up with a Nike limited edition collection fashion line. We're going to put your shit in Macy's, Target, Walmart. All the big distributions, you have our powerhouse behind your limited edition. Or UMG contract, but hey, Greg Mackenzi, everything Vibes Multimedia, gotta go. $750K advance. You spend it how you want. Sign this. We got him!
Nike.
Oh shit! Oh shit! God damn it, motherfucker! Okay, tell us why you went with Nike limited edition line. Collection limited edition. Why?
One word. Control. When you said it gave me control, I said Nike, and I kept trying to think. Maybe not. Control is perfectly what I like, and I understand that being connected to a
UMG. All this UMG can press a button on one record. You out of here.
That's great. That's great. I love that, but I'd rather
you like the control.
I like yeah. Because
you don't want to give up ownership of Vibes Multimedia.
No, I don't want to have someone else in control of my fate. That's really what that. When you have when you get in advance, unless you know exactly what you're doing with that money,
yes,
you most definitely are in control. They are in control of your fate now. You
True.
know what I mean? So yeah,
True.
fuck that.
Go with Nike limited edition line.
Woo! And I bet they'd be fresh too. Everybody like them.
Yes, you get to use everything in their connections, warehouses, their distribution.
Oh yeah, man! You be seeing some Nike swooshes looking like Power Blast.
All right, okay, we got another one for you. Okay, let's see. Design a custom fit for Kid Cudi for an awards red carpet ceremony. He's walking the red carpet with this fit, custom that you're going to make for him. He contacted Greg Mackenzi personally. He seen your shit, got wind of it, said, "Whoa, who did that? Who's that guy? I like that. Get me in contact with him." Contacts you, say, "Listen, it's Kid Cudi. I'm going to be at this award show. I want you to design a fit for me. I'm hitting the red carpet and I need a fit. Design a red carpet fit for Kid Cudi." Or Tiana Taylor reposts her favorite song of yours on social media.
That's a lot of views.
Think about it. I know it's a tough one. I'm gonna repeat it for you. Design a custom fit for Kid Cudi for red carpet award ceremony. Or Tiana Taylor repost her favorite song of yours?
Well, that was a lot of views, but Cutter.
Oh, Kid Cudi!
Yes!
Designing a custom fit for Kid Cudi.
I gotta do some for super people from Ohio, man. I got it.
Gotta hold it down for Ohio.
Yeah. If Tiana Taylor's from Ohio, I most definitely would have chosen her.
So for the simple fact that Kid Cudi's from Ohio,
yes!
you designed him a custom
Facts.
fit for the red carpet ceremony at the award show.
Chappelle has too. I got him as well.
You're throwing one for him too.
Facts. I listen to all of them. Anybody from the Mary J. Blige.
Whoever needs.
Anybody from Ohio, I got you.
What could you see Kid Cudi in, right? What could you?
Oh, shit.
I got the perfect thing for you,
Oh,
Cudi.
yeah. Listen, I have him with the asymmetric jacket.
Oh!
I have like a scene from one of the fights going on in the back. The arms would be a spot where they like flying toward each other. The explosion on the background, man. Yo, shit.
So turn it down to Tiana Taylor repost.
Yeah, man. As much as I want all them views, I gotta hold it down for Ohio.
Alright, I respect it. Go on with designer custom fit for Kid Cudi. Okay, alright. Got another one for you. Flip a coin, a quarter, for a chance to win $5,000 a month for 10 years straight. So if you guess, say, okay, I'm betting heads, that if it lands on heads, I get $5,000 a month for 10 years straight. So you got a 50-50 chance. If it lands on tails, obviously you lose. So you flip a coin for a chance to win $5,000 a month for 10 years straight. If you guess it right, if it lands on what you call in the air, boom, 50-50. So you get that, just one flip too, that's it. Or open a blank envelope handed to you by Pharrell. You don't know what's in this envelope. It's a white envelope. Pharrell's in front of you, and there's another man with the quarter in the other hand. Are you going to flip that coin for a chance to win $5,000 for 10 years straight? Or are you going to take and open that blank envelope? Pharrell is just like, I'm not telling you what's in this. You don't know what the fuck in it.
It could be empty.
It could be an empty envelope. So you can turn down the envelope from Pharrell, or you can gamble and have a 50-50 chance of winning $5,000 a month for 10 years straight. Or you know what? Whatever's in this envelope, Pharrell, I'm taking this chance. Envelope from Pharrell, flip the coin, 50-50 chance for $5,000 a month for 10 years straight.
Man.
Let's go, Gray!
Alright.
Think about it!
So, I say that I would do the whole Pharrell envelope, but that's only because...
Go with the blank envelope!
That's only because I have high anxiety. Every time if I flip that coin, that's a life-changing experience. If I don't get it, I might have a heart attack. If I get it, I might have a heart attack. I ain't trying to go through that. I just... Listen, Pharrell, let me get this envelope. Oh, it ain't got nothing in there. Dope. I was so glad I had to go through this one little thing, and I don't know what I'm getting on the other end.
Yes.
I'd rather jump into a sea of not knowing than to mess up something that could change my life in front of my face.
Oh, shit. So you're going to take your chances with the envelope. Blank envelope handed to you from Pharrell.
Yeah.
Don't have no idea what's in this bitch, but whatever's in it.
I won't have no anxiety either because I don't know. I just got handed an envelope. Hey, what's up, man? Is it an envelope or a coin that could change your life? Envelope.
Right. All right. Okay, go with the envelope. All right, last one for you. Now this one is gonna make you think. It's touchy. Snap your fingers. Bring back your brother. And a snap. I'm talking about you have your brother back. Or close your eyes for 10 minutes and you get to see what your daughter's life is going to be like. As an adult woman, you get to see your daughter's life. Close your eyes for 10 minutes. You get to see your daughter's life. Or snap, bring your brother back. This is a deep one.
Well, I guess I'd snap, but that's not really just to bring my brother back. It's because I plan on living those years to see my daughter's adulthood, and I don't really want to be spoiled. That's one of the few things I don't need spoilers on, is my daughter's future. Because if I know where it's going, I'm going to push her in that direction, and that's just not healthy for her.
So you feel like if I see it, I'm going to make sure you get there. And that's,
or I'm going to make sure you don't get there. Like, either way, if it's
whatever
something
you see, you're like, oh, that's not happening. Nope, I didn't like what I saw.
You feel me? So avoid all of that.
Yeah.
And to not turn my daughter into my greatest enemy. I most definitely am just gonna get my bro hand back and boom,
snap
live life for him and see how long we can make it jug.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I don't need spoilers on my daughter's future.
Right. So you want to just let her live her life and
I guide her. I feel like a job as a parent, I feel like a job as a person is make another person at least one of those things, and then guide that one to be a successful adult. And by successful adult is whatever you personally mean a successful adult is. So my meaning of a successful adult is different than yours. That's great.
Yeah.
Just as long as your meaning of a successful adult ain't a racist bastard, I'm most definitely down for that.
Right.
You feel me?
I love it. I think that's fair.
You feel me?
That's pretty fair.
If you raise your kid to go out and want to blow up little black kids and stuff,
oh god,
no.
Right. Like, we're not.
But yeah, that's just. I mean, like, that's just how I feel when it comes down to people. Is like you get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And if you don't, make the right steps at the right times, you could literally ruin a person. And I don't want to be the guy that ruined my daughters or ruined my son or ruined my wife. These are I can still ruin an adult. That's the thing that people just don't understand is once you become an adult, you're not really on some sort of magic box of stability that's always going to be the same. The world changes around you, and you have to be able to be stable through that. If you don't really understand who you are, then when it comes down to it, you're going to end up falling apart every time the wave hits. You're going to end up running every time the monsters show. You're going to end up ducking and leaving the people who matter when it matters. My God, it was so crazy. A couple weeks ago, we lost an 8-year-old that was in our family. Remember the Amber Alert that happened a little while ago? Okay. That was our little one. Her mom went a little bit. No, she ain't going a little bit too far.
The Toyota car?
I don't even remember the car situation. All I know is that it was the latest Amber Alert that's happened here in the city.
That was your.
It wasn't mine, but it was my wife, her people's.
Okay.
And she most definitely has still been hurt through that. I mean, like, the mom did it. That's the worst part. I mean, I'm sorry. Allegedly, the mother did it.
Right. We can't say for certain.
Hasn't gone to court yet, so it's all slander till it's true.
Yeah.
But allegedly, the mom did it. Like, and she fucking blamed her son, the another child. The story is horrible. Like, if some people, every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child, and that is a true fact.
Right.
And I feel like if you, like I said, your job is to make another one. If you make another one, you raise them to adulthood, and they become a successful adult in their eyes and your eyes, and guess what? You did a good job.
Yeah.
But if you don't even get that far,
yeah. Hey man, that's real. All right, final question for you, Great Mackenzi. We're gonna wrap this up. This has been a dope conversation, by the way, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this, man.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to excited to everything you got coming. Okay, so final question. We're gonna wrap it up. What is the biggest misconception about Great Mackenzi? The biggest misconception.
That I am either afraid or do not like people or won't want to be social or stuff like that. I said to myself mainly because I don't get much interaction. I used to be a busy ass nigga that just was up in everybody's face, but that got me So I stopped doing that, and now I'm more chill. So most people just assume I'm like don't care.
Social,
yeah.
Just...
And I'm like, no. I just relax now because I've gotten to the position where I know who I am, I know who I want. People who want to be around me, they show up. The ones that don't, they usually just disappear eventually.
Yeah, that's the biggest misconception that you're antisocial.
Yeah. That's what I get so funny too.
You get to know me, I'm a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, please get to know me.
Oh, I love it, man. All right, great. Let's wrap this up. Let the people know what they can look forward to, what you got coming once again, where they can connect with you, the websites, the merch, the music, everything. Go ahead and plug everything away, and a last message you want to give to the people out there.
Well, man, listen, if you want to find me, everything that I have is collected into two places. Now it's I got the Vibe, what's called YouTube channel that I just dropped.
Hey.
And it's got like video clips from like so far back. And I mean like, all types of stuff. Now it's getting reorganized, and so anybody could just hop on there. The link to it it's right now it's unlisted. It'll be dropped in fully closer towards when Prophet God actually drops, which is on the 23rd of August. Yeah. They will be dropping at the same time. So it will be, I'll be switching that bad boy on for everybody. But you can still get it if you look at it's like the first link on my actual Facebook page when you get on there.
Nice.
So like I said, you just get on there and you'll be able to see everything coming up, everything going forward. We also have our Patreon, which is Gray Mackenzi Made It.
Hey.
Every single thing that I do will be on there from now on. Music, comic information, clips about the game, things about the shirts. I've got all types of stuff that's coming. And next year is going to be a really busy year for me. I'm going to be dropping stuff closer towards the end of the year, but I'm going to be basically hustling from January to December. You know what I mean?
Hey.
So yeah, man, you can find, like I said, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere at Gray Mackenzi, and that shit, and you'll find me right there.
Man, go ahead and get lost in Gray Mackenzi's world, man. Plenty there for your pickings. Whatever you into.
I got it.
He got it. The ultimate plug, Gray Mackenzi, everybody. All right, this has been another episode of Club Talk Podcast. If you fuck with this podcast, more importantly, if you fuck with Gray Mackenzi, man, make sure you tap in and follow him on all his platforms and follow everything he's got going on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Oh, if I forgot to say it, for all my artists out there, you know I play music during the breaks on the pod. If you want to get your music and rotation during the breaks on the pod for future episodes and guests like that, submit that to clawtalk5@gmail.com.